Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Bussey Banter. Once again, I'm Jacob Bussey, and I'm here with some more Toronto Maple Leafs news. Big deal of the day, Toronto Maple Leafs acquire Nick Foligno from the Columbus Blue Jackets, as well as Stefan Noesen in a three-way trade between Columbus, Toronto, and San Jose. So in return, San Jose will get a fourth-round pick, while Columbus Blue Jackets will get a first and a fourth, while retaining 50% of Foligno's salary, and San Jose will retain 25%, meaning the Leafs are only paying 25% of his salary, which is about 1.6-ish million, which fits right nicely under the cap. Foligno, in 42 games played, has 16 points. He's a great third line grinder, and he might even be there at center. And he's his dad. His dad, Mike Foligno, played on the Toronto Maple Leafs in 1993. So he was part of that team that was kind of screwed over by Kelly Frazier in the conference finals. But that's for another day. So my thoughts on this trade are: it's a smart trade by Dubas, but it could be costly. If Foligno doesn't play up to what he's been able to play in the past, then this is really going to hurt the Toronto Maple Leafs, giving up a first and 2/4. Do I think that Nick Foligno is going to pan out and maybe do something well in this season? Yes, I think he is. And he has an intangible that a lot of players don't really have on that team. He brings a veteran presence. He was the Columbus Blue Jackets captain. So the fact that they were able to that we are only paying about 1.6 million of his cap money, because Columbus is keeping 50 and San Jose is taking 25, is what I believe is very important in this deal. Is the Leafs, who are so tight strapped for cap, aren't paying the entire salary of about 3 million. For Toronto is a huge win, because they can't afford to pay the entire money. Stefan Noesen played with Taylor Hall in 2017 on New Jersey Devils. He was okay. He's a good maybe fourth liner, arguably maybe even a taxi squad kind of guy. He'll sub in and out depending on who's playing, how everyone's playing, and where are they going to play. Do I think that he's a game changer? Absolutely not, because I don't want to say absolutely not. He could be, but I don't think he is. I think that maybe he's kind of just a guy that is in a taxi squad, fourth liner, kind of like a Bear Bonhoff kind of guy, but he's been in the league a little longer, and he's had some playoff experience, so that's probably a good. The real reason I believe they brought Nick Foligno was his leadership. And yes, you can argue Joe Thornton and Jason Spezza and Wayne Simmons, but they have someone who's also carried a team to the playoffs, who's had successful playoff runs, and is able to bring that to the team that the Leafs might need. Does this solidify the Leafs as a Stanley Cup contender? I'm not sure. I do believe the Leafs have a good chance, and I believe this is the year that they're going all in. If you look at the trades and the pickups in the offseason, this all goes to the Leafs need to win this year. Nick Foligno is probably not, I don't want to say he's not going to re-sign. I don't know. I don't remember what the rest of his contract is. But they need to win this year, because there's so many players on this team that are getting older. There's so many players on this team that have expiring contracts. Like, this is the year that if they don't make it to at least the Stanley Cup Finals, it's a failure of a year. And that's very bold of me to say, because they got to get through the conference, the quarterfinals, the semifinals. Then they got to get to the conference finals. Sorry, I'm speaking a little fast, but my point is they need to win. And bringing in guys like Foligno and Dubas probably isn't done. And Stefan Noesen even is kind of a veteran move by Dubas, by bringing in some leadership and some veteran to that team. Do I think the Leafs are done? Absolutely not. About tomorrow at around 2:00, me and a bunch of the guys from my school, we all have a podcast called the Hot Take Podcast. We're going to be going over some trades that happened the next 24 hours. The next 12 hours, are going to be absolutely berserk. There's going to be the deadline is at 3:00 tomorrow for the trades. The only reason why it's so important for this is because you can trade at any time. All right, don't get me wrong. You can Thursday night, you can go trade Frederik Andersen for John Gibson, but Gibson won't be able to play in the playoffs because it was after the trade deadline. So that's the only reason why the trade deadline is so important, is because for teams like contending teams like Toronto, Toronto, Vegas, Colorado, Minnesota, Carolina, Tampa, like all these teams need that playoff depth. So that's why there's going to be a lot of trades. I would personally think from those big teams, the top 3 in each division should be making trades to increase their team chemistry, to increase their team power, to increase their team defense, offense, you name it, whatever. The Leafs, I don't believe are done. I believe there's going to be at least 1 or 2 more trades coming tomorrow or later tonight. And I do believe that the Leafs are going to make some big moves. I don't want to say blockbuster trades, but big moves that maybe someone wasn't expecting or maybe people weren't really ready for. So that's what I believe on the trade. Nick Foligno, like I said, 16 points in 42 games, not really brought in for his goal scoring abilities. He's brought in for his grit. He's a good third liner. He's probably going to be the Leaf center besides Kerfoot and maybe Spezza. That's what I would assume if Spezza isn't on the 4th line. This is going to mean Barabanov is going to go back to the taxi squad. And overall, I think it's a good trade by Dubas. I think if it pays off now, then it's totally worth it. If Foligno kind of fizzes out and fizzles and doesn't do anything, then I kind of think it's a lose for Toronto. Like I said, huge point keeping the cap to about 25% only being paid for a team that's so strapped on cap. It's so important. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me, and you'll see me either tomorrow if there's any more significant trades, or you'll see me tomorrow. I think the Leafs play tomorrow. So yeah, thank you guys for joining, and until next, this is Jacob Bussey from the Bussey Banter.